Hello, everyone. I hope that you feel really energized after this little break. I know that talking after lunch is a little tricky because everyone is a little sleepy, but I will try to do my best. And I have photos of dogs in my slides, so hope it will be good. After this short introduction, I have to start with a short survey. You can raise your hand if you agree. And the first question I really have to ask right now is, do we have any karaoke lovers in the room? Woo, perfect, okay. So maybe some other questions, because you learned a lot about me from this introduction. Do we have testers here? Of course, Test Dive conference, we have a lot of testers. What about developers, programmers? I see you, perfect. Do we have people really passionate about web development here? Not really. Okay, but I am passionate about it. So, sorry, you will hear a lot about web in the next few minutes. And one very important question, do we have dog lovers here as well? Some of you, perfect. Thanks a lot, because, as you can see, I want to talk today about Chrome DevTools. So the tool you may be aware of, but tool which I'm really, really passionate about. But let's start from some basics. Clicker, please work. OK, so when I started programming, I believed it will be something like that. I will be sitting in my favorite coffee shop all the time. I will be talking only to my cat, because, programmers are not talking to each other at all. And I will sit in my pajama all day. But it was something even worse. I believed that I will be only building new stuff all the time. No debugging, no testing, just developing new feature each 20 minutes because, programming is only about building. As you may guess, very quickly I learned that's not true. Clicker, please. OK, it's not working with me. So, very quickly I learned there's something called Kernighan's law. Debugging is twice as hard as writing the code in the first place. So the art is not in building something. It's in understanding why it works and how to fix that when something is broken. What is even more interesting, there's a second part of this law. So if you write the code as cleverly as possible, you are, by definition, not smart enough to debug it. And writing this super clever and hockey code was fun, but it was super difficult to maintain in the future. What's worse? I really wanted to be a web developer, and everything worked perfectly on my laptop. My first web page was super nice, but you know what? I wanted to make it work not only on my computer, but also on others' computers. I wanted to make it work on different phones, tablets, stuff like that. And probably you can feel frustration in this slide. There are few devices to test your site. And good developers should support all of them, right? And because of that, I started learning a lot of different tools. I spent a lot of time installing many different tools just to improve one little thing on my web page. I could spend like 1 or 2 weeks on installing and learning new program just to fix small item on my web page. But it was not worth that. If you ever did any reconstruction at your home, you probably know that the best tool you need is just Swiss Army knife. It won't help you always, It won't solve all the problems, but it will help you fix the small ones and also adjust. Do I need a specialist for that? or how bad is this bug at my home. And today I want to show you something that, in my opinion, is equivalent of Swiss Army knife in your browser. Before we will go there, yeah, I have a slide. Whoa, what's happening here? Magic. Okay, I have a slide about myself, but almost everything was already told. So just, if you are going for karaoke tonight, there's my Twitter and LinkedIn. You can also ask me any questions about web performance, accessibility, Chrome DevTools, or if you just want to say hi, use any of those links, and I'm more than happy to connect. Let's go to the Chrome DevTools. So, for those who never heard about it, Chrome DevTools is a set of web development tools built directly in your Chrome browser and developed by Google team. So you don't need to install anything on your computer. It's already there, and what is super important, it's for free. How to open that? Super easily. Just use any of shortcuts visible on the screen, or go to your browser, three dots, more tools, and developer tools. Then you will see the console. Today, I won't speak about the basics visible in this console. So if you never heard about it, please just open it, play a little with elements, with console tabs, and so on. But today, we will talk about other stuff. First of all, how to thrive in the CSS jungle. We all love CSS, right? Secondly, when you don't know what you don't know, what to do. Very, very interesting topic. Third one, lazy clicker's guide. So when you, like me, person who hates clicking a lot through the web page multiple times. 4, make it faster. We all know that we don't want to wait. We just want our web pages to be as fast as possible. And point number 5, animations. So let's go to the first one, CSS jungle. And if you ever did anything in CSS, you may feel that, right? You are just trying to do a small adjustment. You are trying to do something super simple, but there is a catastrophe. Everything just disappeared, and you just want to leave everything and go to Bieszczady. And on the other hand, you know, without CSSs, our web pages will look like that. So not really nice, and they are kind of useful and kind of needed. So I have a demo for you, but before we will go there, there's one catch. I'm fully aware of that. Live demo, what could go wrong, yeah? It's famous last words at the presentations. So I have a set of cute dogs for you. If something went wrong, just take a look at this cute dog, okay? Don't think about bugs, just take a look on the dogs. Okay? Okay? Okay, perfect. So let's go to the demo. Probably majority of you have seen this page, but a little different, yes? Because for some of our users, web pages we are developing look differently. For example, for people with vision deficiencies, Test Dive conference webpage will look like that. And what is super eye-opening and what helped me a lot talking about accessibility and improving styling on my web page is just emulating those vision deficiencies and see how the web page look like for people who, for example, can't see color. Fortunately, you can easily emulate that on any web page in the internet. What to do to emulate those vision deficiencies? So just go to any web page in the Chrome browser, right-click, and go into Inspect. Later on, you will see this Chrome DevTools tab. As I said in the beginning, I won't show everything. I won't focus on those elements and consoles and everything. Probably I should do it a little bigger, okay? But how to emulate those vision deficiencies? It's hidden in something called More Tools and Rendering tab. Here we have a section called Surprise, Surprise, emulating vision deficiencies, and we can choose one of many options here, like blurred vision, so me without my glasses, for example, but also when user can't see red, when user can't see blue, green, and no color at all. And when you start working with accessibility, it's super nice to just change this setting for a while. Start using internet the same way you are using it normally, and just check, is everything still visible? Can you see all labels? Can you see that something is button or link or something like that? It's super eye-opening, and I strongly recommend that. However, as you can see, it's not scaling, right? So when we already have a web page and we want to just notice accessibility problems there or problems with CSS styling, it's not really good. Like, OK, I can see something, but I need better measurement. So let's turn it off and go to another section called CSS Overview. This feature is still in preview, so it may change, but I hope it won't, because I really, really love that. And what we have here. So after reloading the page and gathering data, we will receive the whole report about CSS on our web page. First section is not super useful. There's some just summaries, how many elements we have here, how many media queries, and stuff like that. But what is important is this colors section, because we can see all colors used in the web page. And what's more, you can click on the color and receive a list of all elements using this color in the web page. So when you, for example, work with UX designer and you know that your company has some brand palette, for example, you can easily find those elements that they are incorrect. They have, for example, different color of blue than expected, and so on. And as you can see, there's also a section about contrast issues. That's one of the most popular accessibility problems in the web. So when contrast between text and the background is not high enough, so users can't see what is text on button, for example. So as you can see, we can improve this web page. Let's take a look, for example, here. So we know there's a button, and this button has not enough contrast ratio. When I hover over that, I see which exactly button is that. Is this green provide feedback button you can see here. But it's not the all. You can click on this element, and you'll be redirected to elements and styling tabs, when you can do even more. Let's find me color section. It's here. When I click that, there's additional information that something is wrong with contrast ratio, and it's here. As you can see, there's red icon telling me, hi girl, you should take a look on that. When I go into details, I see that none of standards is fulfilled here. AA and AAA are not good enough. But it's not really good visible, I'm sorry for that, but here are small buttons. You can click them, and Chrome DevTools will propose you a new color, which is as similar to the original as it's possible, but fulfilling those contrast criteria. So we can easily find a new color which will be better and which will provide enough contrast ratio for this element. Green is tricky, so I know that white and black are not very, similar to each other. But yeah, in this way, super quickly you can fix accessibility problems on your web page. OK. Fortunately, no dog needed, for now at least. So, if you haven't seen what I did, firstly, I emulated different vision deficiencies. So if you want to do that on your site, you can just perform those steps. I created CSS overview, where I saw all colors and media queries and info about styles on my web page. And here's the report from the CSS overview. And also, if you want to fix contrast issue, you can just click on this element, go into Styling tab, and automatically find a new color as close as to original one as possible. Okay. Time for the most difficult question in IT. Do you know what is that? Any ideas about styling and CSSs? I'm pretty sure you know. Yes, exactly, how to center image on the web page. That's the most important and the most difficult question in tech, come on. So, yep, many of us feels like that in this problem. And if you can't see, yeah, there's a ruler here. Fortunately, there are better ways than using ruler, and yeah, I will show you that. Let me go to the browser, and I have a picture here. So maybe I heard there's something called display flex. It's not the browser, it's like proposing me some stuff. And as you can see, now I have this small icon with tips. Which option you should use to choose and just center your image. It's super, super useful, especially when you work with tech newbies who don't remember all properties in CSS. They can just visually choose from the picture which one you really want to use. And there's also another thing I want to show you. So, when you use property which is not applied, you may wonder why. So, for example, now I remove this display flex, but the justify context and align items are still in my code. And it's not applied because, it doesn't work without this display flex. Fortunately, now Chrome DevTools are telling you, sorry, I can't apply this property because it's not working without this display. And it's even telling me, try setting display to something other than block. So it's super useful when you don't know why your styling is not applied on the element. Open Chrome DevTools, check if something is grayed out, and hover over this small icon close to the property. And it will save you a lot of time. Okay, cue the dog. Fortunately, not needed again. And it was this section about CSS jungle. Let's go to another section. So when you don't know what you don't know. And that's very often a case that we hear, for example, you know what, your web page is super slow, do something with that. Or your web page should be accessible. But I have no idea what it means. Like, no one told me what is important or how to test my web page against accessibility, or how to measure performance or something else. So they're telling me you should do something, but I have no idea how, what to do. I just know that something is wrong. And fortunately, there's something called Lighthouse audit, also in Chrome DevTools. Let's go back to our Test Dive conference web page. But I will open that in incognito mode because it works the best in incognito. I go again to this Chrome DevTools and go to something called Lighthouse. And it's a set of automatic audits. You can choose which category you want to test your site against, like it may be performance, accessibility, best practices, CEO, progressive web apps. You can choose if you are interested in checking mobile or desktop. And of course, you can choose all categories, why not? For now, we will focus only on one of them. And Chrome DevTools will reload your web page. It will take a while. But after a few seconds and few sometimes fun, sometimes interesting fun facts on loading spinner, you will receive a report. Report visible here. So, first of all, you will receive a score. The score is between 1 and 100. If it's something below 50, it's bad. You should really, really take care of that. 51, 89, it's okay, but can be improved. And we are aiming to achieve something between 90 and 100. But we are receiving not only score, we are receiving much, much more. We are receiving a list of problems on our web page with information. Why it's important, what exactly is broken, and even list of failing elements. So you can easily check what should be improved, and what is even better, you will receive information how to fix that. There's always short description. There's also link to blog where you can learn more about that. As you can see, the link of failing elements, you can click to go to Elements tab and work with them, and so on, so on, so on. So it's super useful. A lot of failing elements here, but what is interesting, there are also some items to manually check if needed, and list of past audits, and also items that are not applicable on your web page. When you are just learning a new area like performance, accessibility, whatever, it's super nice to just go through those steps, also not applicable on your web page, just to check what is important, what I should think about, and how to improve that. You can also download each of those reports and, for example, create a baseline from that for you and toggle dark theme, stuff like that. Just play with this stuff, and I'm pretty sure you will discover some bugs on your web pages and super easily can fix all of them. Okay, let's go. How to go to audits if you need screenshot or take a picture just to repeat it at home. Here are steps. And we are going to Lazy Clickers Guide. I'm lazy and I'm proud of that, really. I heard that the lazy programmers are the best because they're looking for a fast and easy way to finish even complex tasks. But when someone is going to me and telling me, there's a bug and repro is longer than 3 steps, I'm trying to just disappear. Or maybe I tried to do that before. Because we hate that, yeah? Especially when you work on something and you have to repeat it again, 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 and again. There are many scenarios when everything works when you go in this, let's say, normal stuff. But when you 15 times click some button, later on go to another web page, go back, and do some strange stuff, something is broken. And when you work with that, it's not really nice to click so many times on the web page. As you may guess, there's a better way to do so. We can see it on this site. It's a coffee cart. So you can just order a coffee on this web page. So let's say I want to buy espresso and Americano. As you can see, total amount of money to pay is 17 now. I can go to the cart and, for example, remove one of them. It's kind of easy scenario, but when I work on that and say I should do it 10 times in a row, it may be really, really boring. Fortunately, there's something called Recorder tab. It's already open, so yeah, you can see that. How to go there? Again, more tools, and oh, yes, here, Recorder tab. Again, preview feature. It may change in the future, but it's super useful and super nice. What we can do here? We can just create a new recording, give it some name, like test dive. We can decide which selector we want to focus on. We can also leave it empty if we don't know or we don't want to specify which one. And we are starting recording. Let's say I will order espresso, Americano, go to cart, and remove one espresso. And that's my recording. What I can do now, as you can see, I have a timeline with all steps I performed here. I can easily replay them, let's say in slow mode, just to see which step is performed. And it was kinda quick, so let's do it very slow. Okay, and you can see on the dots which step is performed at the while. What's even better, you can manually adjust that. So you can add step before, step after, we can remove that. You can also copy only this one step if you need for your Puppeteer test and stuff like that. And you can also edit, for example, which selector should be tested, or when you are entering any input, you can change it also from this view as well. So you can easily create some, let's say, automatic test. What's even better, there's a code you can easily generate from here. It may be JSON, but it may be also Puppeteer. You can just copy that, put into your automatic test, and very quickly add it, for example, for your CI/CD pipeline. You can, of course, export, import those tests. You can even add some throttling. That's a cool option. So let me remove that. No, it wasn't here. OK. Here was option to add, yes, network throttling, for example. So when you try to emulate how your web page will work, for example, on slow 3G, you can set it from here. Of course, it's not perfect, but it will give you some info about that. And what is great, you can check this scenario in performance panel. So when you create this scenario, and you know that it's important, but for example, it's super long, you can open only this scenario in Performance tab. And I know that this view is a little terrifying. And don't worry if you haven't seen that and you don't understand that. But if you are a more advanced person, you can see that we have summary of loading, scripting. We can check how our web page looked like. We can check which exactly calls were taken. So don't worry about that if you don't know anything about performance. But if you are working with performance, it's super cool, and you can use that. Doc again. OK, so if you want to go to Recorder tab, just go into More Tools, Recorder, and start recording your journey to check or to create automated tests, to replace something, or just to start gathering data for performance overview. And I will speak about performance just now because, yeah, I have a feeling that we have more and more powerful mobile phones, we have more and more powerful web pages, computers, but at the same time, our web pages are super, super, super slow, especially when you try to use, for example, airport Wi-Fi or something like that. And yeah, we are not patient. Our users don't want to wait. We really want to have our data as fast as possible. What we can do with that? You've seen this page, and that's like typical old way how we were debugging performance in Chrome DevTools. Fortunately, there's a better way for now. It is still super useful view when you're an advanced person and when you want to deep dive into details. It's the best view for that. But when you are just starting or you are trying to understand more, there are better ways. And let's test it on Test Dive conference webpage. There's something called Performance Insights. Again, feature in preview. Here we can set some throttling, for example, slow 3G, and we can decide if we want to just check page reload, or maybe we want to record some scenario, we want to focus on specific steps. Here I will just measure page load, and yeah, the web page is reloading, Chrome DevTools is measuring different data behind that, and after a few seconds we will receive a report. What I really like in this view, it's much, much simpler than the view we were using previously, and it's much more friendly for people who especially don't know much about performance. You can see screenshots. You can replay how the web page looked like during reloading, so you can notice, for example, when some button disappeared or when we had a totally blank screen. Of course, it should be done in incognito mode, then it's a little better, but I forgot about it, so sorry. Here you can also see all layout shifts, all networks done. It is important, but when you're just starting, take a look on those insights. So you see timeline. What happened on my web page during reloading? And oh, there's something orange, so probably there's something wrong with that. Or there's something green. And those items are web vitals. If you know what is that, it's super important indicator about performance on your web page. But even if you don't know, you can see that they are marked like that. You can click on them and easily learn why it's important. You can click on some links to read more about it, but you can also see which elements are impacted, what is wrong, what is like potential root cause that something is loading longer, for example. So in this case, it's green one, so it's cool, but normally you will receive info what can be improved here, like here. So you can see which elements are important when we are talking about largest contentful paint. So why it was slowed down. It was slowed down, for example, for this resource, and how to fix that, just inline this call. And there's even link to blog telling you step by step how to do so. So you can know nothing about performance, but do a huge, huge improvement on your web page. Strongly, strongly recommend this view. It changed the way we are working with performance in web a lot. And yeah, here are steps if you want to take a picture, how to repeat it at home. And the last point I have for today is unmasking animation drama. And be careful, because the next screen may be not good for people who are very sensitive. So, if you remember, we were building web pages like that. I personally did one web page will look like that. I'm super ashamed of that till today. So if you're still building web pages like that, please stop. I will find you, I will hunt you till the end of your life, okay? Please, please stop. Animations are important. They can change the way your web page looks like, how your web page is perceived by users, but not this way. Please, please, please. By the way, if you want to see more bad examples like that, I strongly recommend this web page, but.html.com. You can find terrifying stuff there. Okay, time for demo. I have an animation, but it's not so bad as that. There are two animations. There is a fade in. Oh, come on, load, load, load. There's loading spinner right now, but it was not what I expected. OK, you may saw there's this fade in animation, and there's spinner. And when you go to the top called animations, again, choosing 3 dots, more tools, and animations. Then reload your web page to gather all animations in the web page, you will receive this view. Why it's nice? Because firstly, we have all animations captured in one place. Secondly, because we can play with that. So I can, for example, make my spinner moving a little slower, or make it just faster, so you can easily experiment with that. You can also choose is fading faster or longer, but also you can change the starting point. So now I don't want to fading starting just after loading page, but after 1 second. And when I repeat this animation, you can see that. Yeah, it's also like I can repeat all animations, I can slow them down, so work more with them, and I can pause them. So also I can work a little more. I can also click on this element, like here. No, it doesn't work. OK. But normally, it will just redirect you to Elements tab, where you can play with CSS styling of this element. For example, when you want to change the color or something like that. Strongly, strongly recommend playing with this tool. What is cool, you can use it on any web page, not only on your web page. So you can, for example, see how other people are doing nice animations on their web pages. Cute dog again for you. OK, steps how to reproduce that. And yeah, we are close to the end of the session, but some TLDR for those who are a little sleepy or just wonder what to remember, because I know I showed you a lot. And there are many, many new things you can try at home. There are many options. There are many features in Chrome DevTools. But if you can remember only one thing from my presentation, please remember that. Before you invest your time, money, and energy into learning new tool, check. Because maybe Swiss Army knife you already have in your pocket, or Chrome DevTools you already have in your browser, is already a sufficient solution. If you want to learn more about Chrome DevTools, I strongly recommend those 3 items, or official Twitter, blog, and of course, just playing, experimenting with this tool. And yeah, if you want to stay in touch, here are my data. Thank you a lot. And if you have any questions, please ask them. Do we have any questions? OK, I'm not seeing them. So we have. OK.
Hi. I wanted to ask from a tester's perspective, is Chrome DevTools enough to check accessibility, or do we need another tool to check that?
OK, so accessibility is tricky because even if we are believing that AI will take over the world, only around 50% of errors connected with accessibility can be found by any automated tool. So we still need manual checks, but Chrome DevTools will check the most popular ones, and it's a good starting point for you. But there are things like keyboard navigation, and they can't be tested by any software right now. Of course, they are trying to check, for example, ARIA attributes, but it's not sufficient. So we still need manual checks here.
OK, thank you. And I have another question.
Sure.
Does other browsers, for example, Firefox, Edge, have also the same tools as Chrome DevTools, or they have something different, similar? What is the best?
Sure. Of course, I believe that Chrome DevTools are the best. It's why I'm talking about them. But yeah, each browser has their own set of tools. They're a little different. I know that some people really recommend Firefox ones. But personally, I think that Chrome DevTools are the most advanced, and they are detecting the most bugs. But of course, if you want, you can experiment with any browser and check which solution is the best for you.
OK, thank you very much.
Thank you. OK, we have one more question.
Hello, I have a question. Is there an easy way to somehow compare the results of, for example, performance tests between runs in DevTools?
Yes, you can download this report, and I don't think there's like automatic comparison, but you can compare each report with another one, so you can test them. But there's a catch that when we are working with performance, you should remember that there are many factors which can influence your tests, like how strong is your internet connection, how many tabs you have opened, are you working in incognito mode or not. So you should remember that it's not like 100% great solution for everything. It's more like starting point.
OK, thank you.
OK, anyone?
Hi, you said that there's the difference between using incognito mode or not. Could you explain what's the difference?
Sure, especially when we are working with performance, there are techniques like, for example, caching data. And when you are caching data, you are not asking maybe you have some information already cached in your browser, so you receive them faster. So you can see that on many pages, that when you go on the web page for the first time, it's loading a little longer than when you go after a few minutes or seconds again. Because we already gather some data, we cache them saved into your browser, and we are not asking backend for them, we are just gathering the data already in your browser. So it may impact the data. In incognito mode, we are not gathering them. So it's like clean view without those cached data. It's why it's the best practice to just go into this incognito mode without any preserved data there. OK, we have one more question there. I have to say it's the most stressing part of this presentation. Oh my God. Please, please, make easy question. Can't hear you.
OK, hey. I want to my question is that DevTools, that way which you show us, is a good way to do it on mobile device?
Tricky again. Like, it's emulating mobile, but it's not really mobile. So you still need some mobile testing, especially if your web page is mobile first. But there are many aspects. You can test your web page using Chrome DevTools on your computer and somehow emulating this mobile view. So it will detect problems with responsiveness, for example. You can also override some data about geolocation, stuff like that. So there are many, many advanced features you can use to emulate and try. But still, it's not a mobile phone. So you can start with that. And probably you can test with Chrome DevTools, like after each feature added and so on. But still, at least once a month or once a sprint, you should check it also on mobile, just to be sure. Because it's still emulating mobile, it's computer.
OK, I think that's all. Dominika, thank you for that. I think that we are all gonna go home right now and check our Chrome.
After karaoke.
After karaoke, of course.
Perfect. So thank you, and have a good break.